This is episode number 175. Are you wicked or are you popular? How do you see yourself in the mirror? You can listen to this podcast anywhere you love listening to your favorite podcast. Check me out at wideopenspaceswithelise.com. Elise is spelled Ilise. Please go to my social media, hit that love button, and follow. Now, this is the podcast, Wide Open Spaces with Elise and the Fiery Redhead. Thank you for joining me today. I can't believe I'm on episode number 175. Being a podcaster is really hard, and many people give up, but I'm in it for the long haul, working on building this and my brand. And well, I'm 175. I'm still going forward. So I want to thank my listeners, and I want to thank some of my heavy listening and download for this past week from Malaysia, El Salvador, Poland, and Russia. Wow, I have some history, DNA history from Russia. So it's kind of cool to hear that I have listeners there. So if you're listening, every week I announce some of my highest downloads and where they come from. And you might even hear where you live in the near future. So we're upon the holiday season. Things are a little crazy for all of us across the world. But I opened up a really cool thing today, and I'm sure that it's going viral. It's, if you listen to Spotify, you've got to listen to their podcasts or their music to really have a great, what they call Spotify wrapped. Not like wrap the music, but wrapped like a package. And they do this cool video of everything you've listened to, the top songs you've listened to, what percentage you've listened, the artist. On mine, there was even, because Olivia Rodrigo is one of the people that I listen to the most, there was even a video from her thanking her listeners for being such a great support to her. But my top person that I listened to this year, which will be no surprise to you if you've been listening to my podcast, is Jelly Roll. I'm obsessed with him. And the top 5 songs that I listened to were Wild Ones was number 1, which I was surprised because I listened to I Am Not Okay a lot, but that was number 2. Lonely Road, number 3. Halfway to Hell, number 4. And Save Me, number 5. If you haven't listened to Jelly Roll, check him out. I also had Louis Capaldi on there, Pink, The Chicks, and I know I'm missing somebody that I love to listen to, but those were some of the things, and it's a cute little video showing you how you wrapped up your year in music. So go ahead and check it out for yourself. I even shared it on my social media. I liked it, thought it was kind of cute, and put a smile on my face first thing this morning. And a little further business, I'm going to be doing some micro podcasting. I will be open and honest. I have started that shot that everybody does. I have fought being overweight my entire life. And I was somebody who said I would never do it, but I did a lot of research and I am doing the shot. So I'm not going to talk about it on this podcast because it's not where it belongs. But if you are someone who's thinking about it, knows somebody who does it, or you're doing it, I'm going to do little micro podcasts. I haven't decided how I'm going to name them yet so that you can go and just look at them. They'll be really short, but basically documenting what I feel, what I go through, the struggles with taking this shot. I'm told it's not an easy road. It's not a magic wand that's going to make me thinner and lose weight. So I know a lot of people that are on it and they've had struggles. So I thought, since I'm starting it, why not share that? So look for those micro podcasts coming from Wide Open Spaces with Elise, me, the Fiery Redhead. Okay, let's get on with this podcast. Got all the business out of the way. Episode number 175. Are you wicked or are you popular? How do you see yourself in the mirror? Well, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? You know, life is not a fairy tale, and we all know that. Hopefully, we have fairy tale moments that are magical. Like when I went to South Africa this past early fall. That was, for me, a fairy tale. Fairy tales can come in different shapes and forms, but life in its totality is not a fairy tale. And does that sound a little depressing? Yes, it could be, but it's reality. And how do we ride those waves of that reality? I saw Wicked last week, day before Thanksgiving, and it was everything they say it is. I've seen the Broadway show twice, so I'm very familiar with the music and the story. And there's if you watch anything on TikTok or any social media, there's all these messages that come through in Wicked. And I didn't focus a lot on the messages, but a lot of it is anarchy, racism, anti-Semitism, politics. And I don't want to, this podcast is not anything about that. So I'm not going to go there. But there are a lot of messages that are in the movie. So if you watch it, you can look for them. I didn't. Retrospectively, I did. I just wanted to enjoy the movie and not be looking for all these little clues and whatnot. And I really just, we went to one of those theaters where you can put your feet up. It was hard to keep my feet from dancing, and it was really hard from singing because I didn't want to ruin it with my voice, with the people sitting next to me. But God, did I want to sing those tunes. They're just a lot of meaning behind a lot of the music. So if you haven't seen Wicked, I even dragged my husband, who is not a musical person, but he kindly went with all of us. Go see it. It really makes you think. And what I came out of it was the idea of Wicked and being popular. And that's where my thoughts went after I saw the movie. Now, in Frank L. Baum's Wizard of Oz, where this all kind of originates from, and this is before Dorothy comes to Oz, is what Wicked is. There's many chapters or scenes in the movie and the book. And I look at life in chapters. And you might say, what does that mean? Well, I look at how my life kind of categorize it. You know, my youth, my divorce, having children, those kind of things, getting remarried. I believe at this point I'm somewhere on my 4th or 5th chapter of my life. I think it's great to look at your life this way because it gives you a chance to look back on where you've been and to look forward on where you're going. And so my current chapter is Wide Open Spaces with Elise, this podcast, my new book, my blog, my branding, and AKA the Fiery Redhead. Yes, in my 5th chapter, I actually have an alter ego. And hell, I never thought that would ever be something that I would do, but it's the chapters of my life, and I look back where I've been and how I've evolved to this point, and it's really kind of cool to look at yourself that way. And you may not think you look at your life in chapters, but I bet you do now that I've talked about it a little bit, how you categorize each stages of your life. And I like to personally look at them as if they're chapters in my own personal book. And so they took this book and created the wonderful Wizard of Oz movie, and now there's Wicked, which has been out for years on Broadway, but now brought to the silver screen. People who watch this movie come away with a lot of emotions. And what it got me thinking about was, how do I see myself? Do I see myself as popular or wicked? Society is very critical, and you see that in this movie, this scapegoating and this bullying based on looks. The character Elphaba is born with green skin. She's an outcast. She's different. When she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see beautiful. They've made her think, society, that she's ugly. You know, there's themes in this movie. There's good and evil and ugly and pretty and popular and wicked. And I came away with this thought of, how do I see myself when I look in the mirror? Do I see wicked? Do I see popular? When I was younger, I always wanted to be popular. And not everybody wants that. Back in the 80s, when I was in high school, I was somewhere in the middle. I wasn't popular and I wasn't wicked. And what I mean by wicked is the unpopular. Like I said before, the good, the evil, the ugly, the pretty, the popular, the wicked. And so I was somewhere in the middle. And being in the middle made me feel like I really didn't fit in anywhere. I would have wished that I could have either went left or right with it. But I kind of just didn't fit in. And whenever I did look in the mirror when I was younger, well, I didn't have the best healthy self-esteem of myself. And looking back at pictures, I mean, I was really a cute girl. I had my strawberry blonde hair, and well, that for me at that time made me different, but different in the wicked way, the unpopular way. Because what was pretty, beautiful blonde hair. So when I looked in the mirror, well, I didn't see that. And for most of my life, I have fought with my weight. It's genetic, but I fought with it. And I've also always felt that people have looked at me different because I'm overweight. Maybe I'm the biggest friend in the friend group that I have. Or when I see a big group picture of a lot of people that I did something with, and I'm like one of the bigger ones in the picture. This is something that has gone with me my whole life, and felt that people looked at me differently because I wasn't this popular look, this beauty. And so it really kind of hit that nerve with inside of me. And how do I see myself now? I told you how I saw myself as a young person. But in the chapters of my life, where have I come to look at myself? What do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see wicked? Are you critical of yourself? Do you pick on yourself? This doesn't look good, and that doesn't look good. And when I put these earrings on, this earlobe droops too much. Are you so self-critical? Or are you someone who looks in that mirror and loves the way your hair looks, loves the way you just did your makeup, and you're ready to go out and conquer the world? Well, I fall somewhere again in the middle, just like I did back in high school. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I see popular, and sometimes I see wicked. That's quite normal to find yourself somewhere in the middle. It's when you lean too far to the popular or too far to the wicked that things affect how you see yourself and others see you. And that's what you saw in this movie, and how Elphaba, the green witch, who became a witch, changed throughout the movie based on how everybody saw her growing up, how they saw her at Shiz school, which is where all the witches went to do their magical and build on their magic. And then in Oz, how they saw her with this green skin, sitting next to this gorgeous, gorgeous Glinda the witch. Wicked, popular. This is how we see ourselves a lot. You may have never thought about it that way. I never thought about it that way until I saw this movie. But again, this movie has so many messages in it. But this is what I took from it. And I want us to change how we look at ourselves. And it's not an easy task, but my friends, I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of a homework assignment. Sometimes I like to do this, and I think during the holidays when we do tend to maybe get dressed up more because we're going to different work parties or friend parties, holiday parties, New Year's parties, whatever. I think it's a great time for you to start this assignment because you're going to go to these things and you're going to see other people dressed up beautifully with their hair done and their makeup done and their beautiful shoes they might be wearing, whatever it is. And I want you to be able to walk in there feeling empowered and holding your head high and feeling a little popular and a little wicked all at the same time. So I'm going to give you this assignment. In this assignment, I want you to pick up your smartphone. And for an entire week, I want you to snap a picture of yourself. Don't maybe do it the same time every day. Scatter it. Maybe do it first thing in the morning when you wake up, somewhere midday, somewhere at night, and all those areas in between. Snap one selfie of yourself. And each day, when you have time to go back, because you could take a selfie sitting at a red light real quick, right? So go back when you have the time and look at yourself as if you're looking into a mirror. And what do you see in that selfie? We tend to be critical, and you will be critical. It's human nature. But I want you to journal on your phone the words that come to mind, even if they are harsh words. I want you to jot those down. And if there's anything that has really been bothering you about what you're seeing looking back at you. Now, the goal is after a week, you go back, look through all those pictures, look through all your journaling, and then go back and look through each picture one by one. And now you're going to look for the beauty in you. And I know for some of us, it's a struggle, but I want you to identify one thing in each of those pictures that is beautiful in you. Maybe you have blue eyes that people would die for because it's such a rare color, or hazel or green. And when you look in the mirror, you look at your blue eyes that are the color of the ocean, really look at them, you'll see beauty. You see, it takes time. It takes the time to put all those negative, low thoughts that we say about ourselves outside of us and focus on what's in front of us. And there's beauty there. And in each picture for each day, I want you to write down one word or a phrase of something you found beautiful in yourself. And those words and phrases for the following week, you're going to pull up your journal with those words in it. You're going to say those words to yourself every day as you look in the mirror. Now, what I would hope is you continue with this assignment to build your self-esteem, to make you feel more powerful, a little bit of beauty of the popular, and a little bit of the wicked being empowered. Because you see, Elphaba, towards the end of the movie, can't conform to society anymore. And in our society, there's a certain way that beauty, what is people conform to for beauty. We don't all fall within those parameters. And so Elphaba couldn't conform to society. And so she decided to take her power and empower herself by defying gravity. There is such power in lifting your own self up, your own self-worth. We rely too many times on other people to lift our egos, to lift our self-esteem, to give us those accolades. We need those. We think we need those to feel good about ourselves. When the power is all within ourselves to look for the beauty. And sometimes looking in the beauty might be, let me change my hairdo a little bit. Kind of like parting my hair on the side a little bit more than I do in the middle. It's about getting creative and looking for the beauty within yourself. I want to share a song with you, a few of the lyrics from the song, so bear with me. Well, What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction is the song, the lyrics. I'm going to send a little snippet from you. You're insecure, don't know what for. You're turning heads when you walk through the door. Don't need makeup to cover up. Being the way that you are is enough. Everyone else in the room can see it. Everyone else but you. Now, if you haven't heard this song, you're not a One Direction's fan, hit up your Spotify, your Amazon Music, your iHeartRadio, and take a listen to the full lyrics. Because it's true. You might turn heads when you walk in the door, but you don't see it. And you hear, maybe you get compliments that you light up the room, but you don't see it. And with this assignment that I've given you, this task to focus on you, this is your time to start to see it, to start seeing what other people see. Or maybe you don't hear those things from other people, but you are beautiful in your own right. And you don't need other people to tell you that. You just need to know that you have the most beautiful smile when you look in the mirror. Maybe your eyes twinkle when you smile. Maybe you have really cute freckles across your face and your nose that you really never looked at before. You just felt like freckles. Who wants freckles? Freckles are so cute. They're actually people who actually put them on fake because they want freckles. So it's all about your perception and how you mold your thoughts to look at yourself. I know it's not easy to change a thought process that has been drilled into your head by yourself and maybe others, because let's be real, people are cruel, just like in the movie, how they treated this beautiful green person who wanted to save the animals and wanted to do good things, but the power in Oz didn't want that. And so she had to empower herself and step away from the norms. And when she did this, when she pulled away from what was expected from her, what everybody wanted from her, she became wicked. And in the movie, wicked isn't defined yet of what wicked actually is. And what I take from it is that wicked is empowering yourself, feeling kind of sassy, and looking in the mirror and saying, damn, I look good. And so you can be popular and wicked all at the same time. But when Elphaba embraced all of this, she defied gravity. And you can defy gravity too. What do I mean by defying gravity? Well, I'm going to share some lyrics from the movie, the Broadway show, Wicked, Defying Gravity. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing, too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts, close my eyes and leap. It's time to try to defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. Right? You see how I got all that? All that I just talked about from this movie. And this isn't even something that you hear a lot about in the press. You're hearing about all those political things that I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast. And those are important too as well. But you don't hear a lot about this aspect of it and how we can relate to this movie so deeply, so profoundly. Maybe take a chance. Listen to the soundtrack from the movie Wicked. Read the lyrics to the songs. There's a lot of meaning. You'll find yourself somewhere in there. We all did, and we all do. Whoever goes and sees it, the Broadway show or the movie, you'll find yourself. You'll see yourself in there. And I think that's what the magic is about it for all of us who witness it. So come on. You know these words are powerful that I just read to you. And I know that by increasing your self-esteem, you're going to complete my assignment. You'll begin to defy gravity in your life. You will defy gravity in your accomplishments and the beauty that you see in you. There's beauty in you. You're now wicked. Though I know that opinions of ourselves can fluctuate, which I talked about. Sometimes I look in the mirror and love the way I look. Sometimes not so much. I feel like I'm having a bad day. I know that if you continue to look for the beauty in you, this will counterbalance any negative self-talk that might creep into your head. Our self-talk can be quite detrimental if we allow it to. Elphaba in the movie, she did what she needed to do, even though she didn't want to conform with society. I want you to see yourself after you completed this task, this assignment, as popular and wicked all at the same time, because then you will defy gravity in your life. Well, I'm off to find the Wizard of Oz and follow that yellow brick road. Do you think that yellow brick road will really take me to where I need to go? I don't think so. I don't need a wizard anymore to make me feel some kind of way. The power is in the mirror with my reflection staring right back at my beautiful ocean blue eyes. Well, thank you for listening, talking, and evolving with me today at Wide Open Spaces with Elise, the fiery redhead. Remember, positive thoughts always create positive energy. Go out and explore all those wide open spaces in your world in the beautiful snow and cold weather. And don't forget to go to my social media. Follow me, hit that love button, and subscribe. And until next week, my friends, ciao.